Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world heavyweight champion, 2-time Hall of Famer. I got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. I normally don't do that, but I'm throwing it up today, y'all.
Show them off.
2-time Hall of Fame. I remember Dallas Page, man. He said, "Man, you got to get a gimmick, man. You got to get a gimmick." You know what I mean? Like, the 5-time. I'm like, man, that's cool. I like that. I'm just giving Dallas Page props, man, because Dallas is the one that motivated me to actually come up with the 5-time moniker. So, yeah, man, he
was always thinking of marketing, right? Like that guy, that's what he does. He's a marketing genius.
Come on, man. Look at the DDP yoga.
Yeah.
I'm thinking when he first started it, I think he was calling it yoga
for regular guys, right?
Yoga your moms don't do or something like that. I think I'm serious. I think that was the name when he first started. And then he's like, man, DDP yoga sounds a lot better. And I'm like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? You've been going as DDP for the longest, and now you want to change it to some crazy name. But hey, man, Shark Tank. I remember Dallas was on Shark Tank pitching that idea, man. It didn't get picked up, but look at him now. Look at him now. Man, how you feel, man? I know you've been on a little vacation. See, you got the hat on. I got a hat like that.
I'm real Miami.
Yeah. I got a hat just like that on my video game character on 2K21 golf. And that's just like that, man. How's it going down there, man? I know you're visiting the Florida area. You're not in the Keys, are you?
I'm not in the Keys, so I've been a little all over the place. I've been in Fort Lauderdale. We just were in Miami today, taking in the sights. I'm going to say this, Book. I think you've told me this before. South Beach is a hell of a place. You know what I'm saying? You see all kinds of stuff over there in South Beach.
Beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing, man.
Beautiful thing.
The women, man, they just don't care. Pandemic or not. They say, we all out. No matter what, we don't care what's going on. We gonna show it, and we ain't wearing mask. We want you to see all this loveliness and gracefulness. But yeah, man, how's it going?
It's been nice. It's been nice. It's Florida, and I got love for Florida. But, it can get a little weird down here sometimes. But I've enjoyed it. It's been nice to, we were on a boat all day yesterday, taking in the water. Going swimming on an island, living it up a little bit before the summer months are gone and we're back into the winter. Because here's the thing, Book. I knew when we had that winter freeze back in February, I said, first chance I get to sit on a beach, I'm taking it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to go through anything like that again. I wanted to know what it felt like to be on a beach and be warm again. So I'm enjoying it. You're a little color out here too.
I see you got a little tan going on, man. I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you, bro.
I appreciate you.
I want to get out, man, but people in my age range, we gotta be careful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just can't be
knocking on the door to being a senior citizen, aren't you?
I'm getting close, man. Even though I look here, I know I don't look like it, but that's called makeup. Getting the beard darkened in, but the rest of it, you can't make this right here up, man. I mean,
look at that.
I'm training, I'm in shape, and I'm in the gym, I'm hitting it hard on the daily. That you can't fake. So I'm definitely on top of that. We're gonna be talking a lot of wrestling today, man. We're gonna be talking a lot of wrestling. I see super chats coming in already about the business, WWE. To be exact. But yeah, man, people in the chat, man, let us know where you're from, man. I see right now. See, coming from South Africa. I just talked to a buddy of mine in Nigeria, actually. He's known as the commander over in Nigeria, and he's looking to bring a show to Nigeria, and he wants, King Baka to perhaps make an appearance. And I've been wanting to go to Nigeria for a long time, man. But I tell you right now,
before?
I've never been to Africa, man. I've never been to Africa. That's one of the.
Oh wow! Okay.
The only place I haven't gone to is the motherland. The motherland. And I'm looking to get close to Cameroon, where Francis and Ghana, people like that. I want to go see the motherland, man. Where everything started for people like myself. So I'm looking forward to actually making that trip someday. But like I said, we got super chat already, Brad. And let's take this super chat right now. It make everybody happy.
Okay, I just want to let you know I'm on the road. I don't have my soundboard, so I'm
I'll
gonna need
do
you
it.
to
I
hit it
got
for
it. I
me.
got this. I got this.
Okay, you ready?
Super chat.
And this is from FBGM Loso, who says, "Do you think WWE, it's World Wrestling Entertainment, is falling apart?" That's the super chat.
Yeah, man. I mean, let's that's a legitimate question. As far as from the outside looking in, one could think WWE is falling apart. Especially we're going to be talking about it. The latest release, Bray Wyatt. That was kind of unexpected for myself, and perhaps the wrestling world. I'm sure the WWE universe is reeling and wondering what the hell happened. Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. Because the thing is, a lot went into the Fiend character. But to the question, I don't think the company has fallen apart or anything like that. I think with the addition of AEW, people are just looking at wrestling now and they're looking at it from a competition perspective now. And that's one thing that happened back in the day, in WCW era. People could say, man, people could be asking that same question right now. Man, is WWF falling apart? When WCW took over for the 83 weeks, and people might at that point would have said, man, yeah, they really are. But I remember, what we were doing at that time and what they were doing. They were working on their infrastructure. They were working on, how are we going to, fix this thing? How are we going to beat WCW? And I remember, man, and even though right now it's totally different, it's kind of like total opposite to the way it was back then. Because, and I say this because I was in the WCW locker room, and I remember watching Monday Night Raw while I was at the show. And I used to be saying, man, I wish, man, I was there doing that, man, because Triple H and The Rock, man, they would be working, and the Undertaker, they would performing, and they would be using the furniture. Guys was busted open. It was mayhem, and I would be like, man, this is it. And then the tide shifted. Things went back to WWF, now WWE. But I just think it's we're in a structuring things right now, trying to build that infrastructure. I remember I talked about it a little while ago as far as the wrestlers back then compared to the wrestlers today. And then I made the comparison also. This is the era of the big man. The era of the big man is back. We got Bobby Lashley. We got guys like Keith Lee, Drew McIntyre. We got, Roman Reigns. We got the big guys at the forefront now. So I think it's just trying to retool, trying to re-gear. And more importantly, I think the fan that's watching, they need to be heard. They need to be listened to as far as certain things that's going on. And I understand when you're running a business, sometimes that's the last thing you could think about is what the fans are thinking or what the fans are wanting. But I think in this era, in this day and age, with social media, you gotta keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on today. Otherwise, man, things could really go wrong for you.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why somebody, if you look at what's been going on over the last 72 hours, might say, man, WWE, like, what's going on? Like, how are you releasing these names? How are these guys wanting to leave you or whatever? I don't think that it's any sign that the company's falling apart per se, but I think that what you just said at the very end is the most astute observation of what's going on. Is there's a one thing when you want to make business decisions that puts you in the black and not the red. I totally understand that if you're running a business, but there's also a thing called goodwill that you have with your fan base. And when you give fans things that they want, you get more, they give you more goodwill, and they're going to stick around and be loyal to you. If you do things that they don't want to see necessarily, you lose that goodwill. And that could be more costly than any monetary losses you could take.
Yeah, because who, at the end of the day, man, I know it sounds cliche. I've said it many, many times, and I before I tell a fan, I say, I know this sounds cliche, but it's true. I say, if it wasn't for you, it would be no me. Okay, if you wasn't coming to the show with the signs, back in the day, raising the roof, digging what King Booker was doing, my career was over. Put me out the pasture. Boom, put two in the head and finish.
Hold on now. Don't get ahead of yourself, old Yeller.
No, but I'm just no, but that's normally the way the game goes. Oh man, what else, man? We got super chats, man.
We got a bunch, but we got to hit a break here, so we got to take it when we come back.
I think, man, that 12 minutes, man, went by so freaking fast, man. Stick around, guys. You're now Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
This is Booker T World Gym Arena in Texas City, the home to the Reality of Wrestling Training Center. It's a 20,000 square foot facility with more than 50 full-time students and wrestlers from around the world. Inside the World Gym Arena sits a 9,000 square foot venue set up for weekly shows. From on top, 1-2 moonsault! Where our students showcase their skills in front of a live audience.
What he's done here is awesome. He's created opportunity, and he's creating great talent, as you guys well know.
In the back, a full weight room.
6 up!
Complete with state-of-the-art equipment and personal trainers.
There you go. Two more.
A full staff and office personnel.
One more.
Running the day-to-day operation. We have interview sets for TV production, promo classes, quarterly combines. We evaluate progression and team building. Referees, commentators, ring announcers, and live television production. At the World Gym Arena, we don't just teach you how to become a professional wrestler, but an elite sports entertainer. This is Reality of Wrestling.
Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Yeah, man. Yeah. We talking wrestling today, man. It's a whole lot going on in the world of professional wrestling. But before we even get started, let me give myself a cheap plug. Reality Wrestling, man, August 14th. Summer of Champions 7 will be going down 10,000 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway. Guys, come down and get your feel of independent wrestling. We got the best thing going on the Gulf Coast. Summer of Champions 7, all the titles will be on the line, and rest assured, it will be a great night. I will be there shaking hands, kissing babies, being the mayor of Texas City on that night. So definitely, guys, come on down, have some fun. As well as Thursday night, check out the second edition of the Indies with Booker T, special guest Will Ospreay, and I tell you, man, what a story, what a talent, phenomenal kid. If you guys didn't check out that first part, it's still up on the Reality of Wrestling YouTube channel. Check it out. Do it now. I do it for you.
Well, you are right though. By the way, if y'all didn't check out that first one, the first Will Ospreay part 1 that's on there right now, really good. I mean, Will Ospreay, if you're not a fan of him or you have no idea who he is, which I'm sure if you're watching this show or listening, you know who Will Ospreay is. But if you don't, that guy will make you a fan from his interview. And I can't wait for people to watch part 2 of this. You said we're talking wrestling all day. We got to talk about a lot of big stories. But before we do, the fans are already sending in these super chats. So I say let's get to a couple of them. Some of them are going with what we want to hear. So I guess we could start there first. But before we do, FBGM Loso with $5.
Whoa. Super chat.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, I got you.
FBGM Loso with $5 says, Brad, we need to get Booker's no bread, no water, just meat catchphrase on the soundboard. We do. That has to be added. I actually,
I've been seeing a lot of no bread, no water, just meat on Twitter as of late, man.
When you saw when Brock Lesnar was in that butcher shop.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, I saw that, man. That's crazy, man. This is movie, Lord of the Rings, and it was like the ghouls, I guess I would call them. It was I guess there was, over here they was having a big feast. They had like meat and steak and everything, and the ghoul go, why can't we have some meat? That's why when I thought about that, and I thought about when I first said that, no bread, no water, just meat. That's what I was thinking about. And that's a true statement. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's this restaurant called Texas de Brazil. I think we have one here, Fogo do Chao. And it's a Brazilian steakhouse. When you go to a place like that, you don't want no bread, no water. All you want is meat, because you don't want the soup. You don't want the salad. If you do get it, you get like a very, very small portion of the soup, or you get a really small salad. But you concentrate at a place, Brazilian steakhouse, on that meat. Okay? I'm just letting y'all know.
So great. So there's a couple of super chats here that kind of go one in one with each other. So
you got.
Let me throw this one first, and then I'll backdoor it.
Here we go. Super chat.
And this is from Stellar Justin Lopez, one of our faithful here inside the Hall of Fame. You said it last week, Book. The Fiend was a hard character to book, but the guy's a future Hall of Famer who's creative and versatile. You don't let a talent like that go, which to me, we can go right into this other super chat from Leangelo, Mr. Loso, with 500. I'm not sure the denomination. Somebody tell me, educate me, please. But 500 something.
That might be cryptocurrency. Hopefully it is cryptocurrency.
Yeah, we like it. We're fine with that. It says, "Hey, legend, which WWE release do you think hurts the company the most?"
Man, we got Ric Flair. We got Braun Strowman. Now we got Bray Wyatt. That's not, I don't want the ladies jumping on me. We got JoJo. I tell you, man, it's hard to say that. No, let me repeat that. It would be hard to say that Bray Wyatt is not a big loss. And I said it last week. I said if Bray come back, when he does come back, I say, man, I think the Fiend character, we've gotten a lot out of it. More importantly, we've got a lot of merch. We've sold a lot of merch with that Fiend character, and it's something that could always be there. But I thought, in coming back, I thought we would see Bray Wyatt. I thought I didn't think we would see the Wyatt family ever recreate or anything like that, or in any form. But I thought Bray Wyatt was a talent. Will he be missed? Of course. Can he be replaced? I don't think so, because I think Bray Wyatt was one of those guys that was kind of like a throwback. You didn't just look at Bray Wyatt because of his wrestling ability or anything like that. He's kind of Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake, he could talk you into the building, and he could do it by just whispering. That's the way Bray Wyatt was. When Bray Wyatt was doing that, and the talking and really making a whole lot of sense out of nothing, I was like, man, this guy here is he's different. He's like one of the Mick Foley of the world. They don't come along too often. So he definitely will be a guy that will be missed, and I don't think he's replaceable, because you can't put anybody else in that gimmick or that character, and they do it the way he did it. And that's just my opinion on that.
Yeah, Bray, I think what Justin Lopez said, versatile. This is a guy who, remember when he came in, he was Husky Harris with that NXT crop of kids, right? And that didn't work. And when he came back and was NXT Bray Wyatt, kind of that New Orleanian voodoo, kind of style character, that Southern drawl who had a Charlie Manson vibe to him a little bit. I said, wow, I haven't ever seen anything like this. I hadn't seen somebody do it like that. And when he would go on his inspired, rants for his promos, I was mesmerized. I was captured by what this character was able to bring. And with his Wyatt family, this is another thing to where you saw stars come out of that group, right? I mean, Eric and Luke Harper, they were then known as, they went and did the Bludgeon Brothers run, and they were tag team champions, very successful. Brody Lee goes to AEW before his untimely passing, was having an incredible run. Eric Rowan, on paper, had a WrestleMania match for The Rock. It may only 5 seconds, but that's something for your resume. And then Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman was a Universal Champion. And he came out of this group. So what Bray Wyatt was able to do with that was successful. And then to go away, reinvent yourself completely as the Fiend, and come up with this mythological kind of unstoppable monster. The initial presentation of that at SummerSlam was one of those moments that I remember sitting watching and going, oh, wow, this is awesome. This is great. Now, I will say, did the Fiend character and the Mr. Rogers neighborhood Bray Wyatt, did it kind of run its course with me personally toward the end? Yes, I was a little bit tired of seeing it in its incarnation that I saw, because, like you said, it was a hard thing to really nail down. This was a hard thing to book. It was like when Taker first came in and they made him where he wouldn't sell anything, right? And he wouldn't ever lose. You can only do that for so long before the fans become disinterested. You know what I mean? It's like a comedian who goes out there and tells the same jokes for 10 years. It's like, hey, man, I've seen this material. I'm not laughing anymore. Give me something a little bit newer. And I think that we were at that point again with Bray. Now, apparently he was supposed to be coming back in August, was already booked on some shows, had this plan of a grand return, because they did kind of leave us on a cliffhanger at WrestleMania with him and Alexa Bliss. Where's this going to go? I'm not really sure what's going to happen with Bray Wyatt. So I think there was compelling stories to tell. I do think it's a loss. You want somebody like that on your team, somebody who's that creative and can do all the things that he could do. I would think you want that guy on your team every time.
Yeah. I thought he was. I thought he was going to be around for a long time. I didn't see this one coming. I really didn't. There again, just because of what you just said a second ago, the creative mind of Bray Wyatt for me surpassed anything that he ever did inside the squared circle. I just love Bray Wyatt, and there again, he could talk you into the building without actually having to step 1 foot inside the squared circle. You say, man, I got to go check this guy out, so that kind of enigma, man, comes along few and far between. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Bray is worried about getting a job or anything like that. I'm sure soon as the reports came out, his phone was ringing out there. He probably had to, shut everything down for a minute just to get some rest. And then also, sometimes, finding yourself on the other side, you go, wow, man, I really needed to, unplug for a second, because you really sometimes don't know how toxic things are until you step away from it and go, man, I needed a break. And I say that because I know when I left WWE the first time, I needed a break. I was like, man, I gotta detox. I gotta unplug. I was like the Matrix. I was seeing all kind of colors, man, and nobody could read it but me. But people say, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're at your height, But I was like, man, no, it's time to check out. And so like I say, you never know what you're gonna feel until you're actually in that position. I'm sure right now he's like, man, I'm feeling good. Get some rest, because Japan is calling. I'm sure the other side is calling. Stick around, guys. I'm gonna be calling y'all back in just a second. You're in the Hall of Fame. Back in a minute.
sucker!
Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Hey, man, I like your background and everything you got going on over there in your studio. Everything looks good back there, man. You got your little ceiling fan and everything, man. Upgrades, baby, upgrades.
What is wrong with you? You know what I mean? You're gonna blow up my spot like that. You know what I mean? I'm on vacation here, Book. I got palm trees out of my window. I thought about making that my background. Would that make you happier if I had the palm trees instead of the ceiling fan? I needed the nap.
You ain't really offered to the hotel thing. You offered to the B&B thing. You got your B&B.
A B&B. You know what I'm saying? A B&B.
That's what you got.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Airbnb. Yeah.
That's what you got. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I got.
I'm just checking, man. You know,
you don't got to get hot about it. I'm just saying.
Why do they say Airbnb?
I have no idea. I've thought about that so many times, and I said, you know what? It's one of those things where it crossed my mind. I said, I'm gonna Google it, and then I never Google it. I have no idea why they call it Airbnb.
I'm just wondering.
I know what B&B means. That's bed and breakfast. That makes sense. The air part, I don't know, because you're traveling on an airplane. Maybe I don't know. I have no idea. But Book, I gotta say, the chat line is on fire right now. We have so much activity going on. We still want to talk about Bray Wyatt, but we got to answer some super chats before they disappear on us forever. One already has, so I'm gonna give a shout out to B Star, who I'm reading this off of the YouTube comments. B Star with $5 says, Booker, this year makes the 15th anniversary of your backstage World Star Brawl with Batista at SummerSlam. Any plans for you guys to celebrate your anniversary? Yeah, I know people have asked you this about a million times.
I want to know about this fight, man. It's crazy, you know. People
ask you about a million times.
I don't talk about that fight. I don't talk about the altercation, you know. But you know why I don't talk about it?
Tell them.
Because real men, they ain't got to go around talking about stuff like that. Seriously,
no.
Real men ain't. No, I'm just saying, a real man ain't gonna go around talking about something like that. And what I mean is, it's something that happened in the locker room around the boys. And for me to go out and talk like that, it just would go to show what kind of person I really was. You know, if I was to do something like that, I cannot. And the reason why, because Batista's a man, I'm a man. Like I say, testosterone fly both ways. You know, I might have to work with you, and I may not like you at all. And the thing is, we may have to go out and do some beautiful work together. But sometimes things don't work out, and testosterone fly in any form of life. And that's why I say that kind of stuff happens all the time. But for me to go and talk about it, 15 years, man. Hey, I'm just glad we both still here, and we both doing very, very well and making that paper, baby, more than anything. At the end of the day, when I see Batista next time at one of those award shows, I'm gonna run up on him and I'm give him a big hug and say, "Man, you knocking it out, dog." You thought I was gonna say something else when I said I was gonna run up. I'm gonna run up on him. You know what I mean? I am run up on him and say, "Man, great job. You've been doing a hell of a job." That's what real men do.
Book, I've known you for 10 years. I never know what you're going to say next. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea what you're going to say next. But to go back to Batista real quick, I got to give him a big shout out. I read an article of the interview that he did where he said before he got the Guardians of the Galaxy role, he had made a lot of money problem. He run into some money problems, made some issues with the IRS, and he said he had lost everything. They took his house, everything he owned. He had to sell it. He said, I was broke. And I didn't want to go running back to WWE because I had just left there. I'm trying to make this acting thing work. And then I land Guardians of the Galaxy, and it changed my whole life, and that's perseverance. That's belief in yourself that you walk in the casino, you bet it all on black. You said one way or another, we're going to win this thing.
I'm going to tell you, man, I had a lot of respect for the man when he stepped inside that cage,
Yeah.
And that right there, I'm gonna tell you right now, people can say what they want to say about Batista. For a man to walk inside that cage, man, he got to have kahunas, man. Because standing across from another man, knowing that you're finna get into one of these, it's real as it possibly could be. And I've gotten into a lot of fights before, but I never had to think about it. for a week, a month, or 2 months before leading. I never had to. It was like what you gonna do? What you gonna bam, 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 and then it was over with. You didn't. It was like a car wreck. It happened so quick. You didn't even know it happened. It's different preparing to walk inside, like I say, a cage to do combat, and so I give him a lot of respect for that, man. Seriously, I really do.
And one other thing, we had a question, I think it was last week, about guys. This guy said he was like 30 and he's like, is it too late for me to start wrestling? Dave Bautista, I don't think a lot of people know this, same age as Triple H, right? They're the same age.
Yeah.
Dave came in late. He came into the game late, and he had a short window, like you talked about with DDP and a couple other guys. Short window, maximized his time, and became a Hall of Famer in that small window that he had. Now, is he built differently than 95% of humans walking this earth? Sure. So he had a big advantage in that regard, but it's never too late to follow your dreams as long as you work hard and persevere. Let's get on to, unless you want to talk more, should we talk more about Bray before we move on?
Right? I think you had one more super chat, right?
We got a bunch of super chats.
Let's take them, man. Let's take the super
chats. Let's take them all.
Look, we got to take care of our people because they're taking care of us. Let's do it.
I feel you. So this is our next super chat. I tried to do it for you.
This is your voice, man.
There you go. This is Ripsaw with $5. Wanted to get your thoughts on Ready to Rumble movie and your appearance in it. More people need to go watch it. My fave wrestling movie by far. I agree that it's my favorite wrestling movie only because it doesn't depress me like The Wrestler does. I think The Wrestler is a great movie, but it's so sad for me to watch through. Ready to Rumble is so much fun.
I mean, but both of those movies parallel to each other as far as being, it's making wrestling fun, real as it possibly could be, drawing a crowd. But I'm gonna tell you, man, that movie, man, it's amazing. That's what me and my wife actually got together, and this many years later, 20 years later, we're still together. But it all started at the in LA on the site of Ready to Rumble, man. And it's amazing to have been a part of something like that. David Arquette definitely went out and he acted a fool, man, in that movie. Oliver Platt was such a nice,
so good.
I mean, but he was a nice guy at the same time. He wasn't a guy on the set that was unapproachable or anything like that. He really loved being a part of something like that. And man, it was awesome. It was awesome. 21 days on the set there in LA. And it was a blast, man. If that's your cup of tea, man, it's something that you would want to do on a regular. For me, being on the set and doing stuff like that, it's a lot of work. But if it's something you love, man, it was the best 21 days of a starving artist like myself to be a part of. It was a great time.
Let's continue on with our next one. Shout out to John White with a $2 super sticker. I'm still trying to figure out what that. I appreciate it. Yeah, there you go. And there you go. And our next one is from Mr. Philadelphia with the $5. Hey guys, who in AEW could you see in WWE in the future? Well, that's an interesting question. Going the other way.
Wow, I never thought about that. As far as who in AEW would be a good fit in WWE. Who we got over there, Brad, to choose from?
Well, I think that you just look for people who. This is what WWE was really smart about when they would pick guys up from WCW. They looked for the young talent that they could see a long-term success from. Right, well, WCW were looking for the older big names to come in.
If that's the case,
who you got?
If that's the case,
yeah,
it's only one guy, and that will be MJF.
You know what? I was going to go a different way, but I'm changing my answer. MJF is the only right answer. That's a guy who you want to talk about talking somebody into the building, right? Somebody who really grasped it. MJF. And we'll talk about him on that from the AEW show on Wednesday. His commentary on the main event was sensational. He found a way to get everybody, including himself, over during this match and be highly entertaining. That guy will go down as somebody who, I think you've talked about this before, is I might never remember a specific 5-star match that MJF has, but but I will remember MJF for as long as I'm a wrestling fan, right? Because he has that presence about him. And I think he's like 26 or something like that.
Yeah.
He's got a tremendous upside.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the answer to the question right there. For me, that he's fresh, he's new, he's the future. He's definitely, he's got star and, like you can see green all over this young man. So for me, MJF would be that guy.
Yeah, that's a great one. Well, this is from Ace Infinity 1999. I think that I know the answer to this question, but here he is with a super chat. What do you think of that one? Was that right? He says, who's your favorite opponent between Brett and Shawn? Now, you never had the one-on-one with Shawn. I know you had the one-on-one with Brett, so. Yeah,
that's easy answer right there for me. Of course, Brett is a guy that I was in awe, to say the least. Being able to share the ring with Bret the Hitman Hart, a guy who I had watched and admired for what he did inside the square circle for so many years, knowing that he came from the Hart family and what the Hart, Stu Hart dungeon represented. I was like, man, I want a piece of that. So that right there for me was a highlight in my career. It really was. It was a highlight in my career. I can't say anything other than that. Shawn Michaels, man, got a chance to share the ring with Shawn Michaels in tag team competition, never in singles competition. I always wanted to test Shawn Michaels and see exactly how good he was. I always wanted to know how good I was inside the ring. That's why when I left WCW and went to WWE, it was great for me because I knew I was going to get a chance to test myself with the best wrestlers in the world, so-called, because I thought I was the best wrestler in the world. But to not have gotten a chance to prove it with Shawn Michaels, I always say that they call that the fish they call wonder, the one that got away.
I love it. Justin Booth with another super chat.
Boom.
$5 says, hey, Booker, just want to get your thoughts on Switchblade Jay White.
No, man. Jay White is a guy, there again, if your name get there before you do, you're doing something right. Jay White has pretty much made his career in Japan, and he's a talent. He's a talent that I've watched grow over the years, almost like a Will Ospreay. I want to get Jay White on my show, The Indies with Booker T, because he's a guy that pretty much has made himself out there. He's talent. And anybody that pick up a guy like Jay White, that company right now, like I said, I know he's locked in, but if he ever make his way over to the States, which I know he is going to be doing some stuff over here with New Japan coming up here real soon. But if he ever make his way to the States, man, he will be a huge pickup for any company.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's one of those names that you hear a lot about, and I've seen some of his stuff. That's a guy who, again, he could have a presence on any big American company. Before we go to break, we have to take a break here, but we have one time.
You sure we got time for a super chat?
We got time for one more because it's more of a comment. This is from our friend Roland Curtis with $20. Shout out to Roland again. I caught Roe on TV around 1:30 a.m. It was Abel Andrew Jackson versus Davidson for the world title. I enjoyed when you guys mentioned Harley Race, DiBiase, and Lawler for their fist drops. By the way, Jackson's swing vote is Honky Tonk Man's finisher. Yes. Yeah, well, we appreciate that. We appreciate the love there.
Hey, man, most definitely, man. Keep watching the road. Keep representing. Like I say, Summer Championship 7 is coming down August 14th. That's next Saturday, guys. If you can't be there, check it out on YouTube. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Shoop. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We got super chats, man, coming in all over the base. Take care of them, Brad.
So I missed a couple from earlier, so we're going to get to them right now. First one from Emerson Blake with the $5 super chat. Book, any good memories or stories working or traveling through Chattanooga, Tennessee during your WCW or WWE tenure? I watched you at the UTC Arena as a kid.
Nah, man, Chattanooga, Tennessee was one of those spots that WCW always made. It was it was on the loop, and it was like Gainesville, Georgia. You know, we was gonna be there on a Saturday night or whatever. But it was those were my best times. Those were my most fun times back in those days. I must say, I don't have any certain specific memory about Chattanooga, man, because back then being a brother, you know what I mean. You want to try to.
Chattanooga was a 75 mile an hour town, right?
you go at 55. Okay. But I had so much fun back in those days, man, with my brother and I, tag team and such a Sherry. Great times, man. Great times.
Great.
Keep it rolling, man. Keep it rolling.
Okay, and this is the other one that we missed, and then we have one new one. This is from Nate with $5. Booker, what are your thoughts on the Brock Lesnar rumor about joining AEW? Brian Cage recently tweeted he would love for it to happen so that he could face him. Brock Lesnar is, as it currently stands, the biggest known free agent in pro wrestling. Do you think there's any chance that he ends up over at All Elite?
Always a chance, man. You know, if it's a check, it's always a chance that anything can happen, man. And now the thing is, Brock Lesnar's at that stage of his career, man, where, you know, it's about securing things and locking things up. I think. Is it improbable? Something like that could happen? Of course not.
No,
would it be,
especially not given the recent weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Would I be shocked?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man, with the human being right now, I wouldn't be shocked. Do you know how many people don't want to take the vaccine?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be shocked at anything right now. I'm serious, man. Right now,
I'm with you.
No, I'm serious. Right now, you gotta, definitely just sit back and pretty much wait on it to happen. I know the rumors are flying around right now, and right now, there again, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. This is the closest it's been since, WCW and the WWE wars, and the guys, going from one spot over to the other side. Just the only time I've ever seen that between, the companies, just the only time. So anything can happen right now. And, but there again, man, just sit back and enjoy, because I was listening. Who was that? I can't remember who it was. They were saying, man, I think it's enough right now to go around for everybody, man. I think if you just sit back and enjoy what you want to enjoy and not criticize what somebody else is doing, you might find yourself in a good spot, a good place in life. So watch what you want to watch and enjoy what you want to enjoy. But I think right now, man, this is the best we've seen this business in its existence. And I say that because the independent wrestling world, let's get rid of the pandemic, of course. The independent wrestling world is the biggest than it's ever been, since the independent wrestling world been out there. There's more shows out there than we've ever had. I was talking to one of my students just 2 days ago. I said, hey, man, how many bookings you getting a month? He said 9 or 10.
That's every weekend, every Saturday and Sunday.
Exactly. This is one of my guys. So it's so much going on right now. So I say, man, just sit back and enjoy it. If Brock Lesnar come in, no bread, no water, just meat.
I want to touch on something that you said. Just two more super chats before we can get there. Real quick. This is Pat D's, maybe
Pat D's,
$2. Yeah. Pat D's. Hello, Booker T. Seen you live once. Intense.
Look at that, dog.
Look at him. He's intense. That's an intense man right there.
They see a poster right there. You see that? Bad man, man. Bad.
And this one is from $10. This is from Bucephalus, I guess. I don't know. $10. No question, no comment. I'm just happy you do this show. Your insights are valuable, whether I agree with them as a fan or not. So appreciate your insight.
I tell you, if you don't agree, let me know what you don't agree on. Because me personally, I could be wrong. I've said that many times. I could be wrong, but in a lot of situations, I think I'm right on most of the situations at the end of the day. And I would more importantly appreciate the debate as well. I see we got another super chat.
Yeah, another $20 here. This is from Gus O'Philly. Book, being African American, when I was a kid, you and your brother were the first wrestlers I saw that I related to. Did WCW try to change the way you spoke in your promo? You know what I mean. Okay, I think he's referring to the infamous blooper, I do believe, in that, but I don't think that was a scripted thing.
No, I tell you.
So they couldn't change it.
Even after the blooper, man, no one ever talked to me about the blooper. No one in the company came to me and said, Book, we got to have a conversation. I never was brought in the office or anything. I think later, I think I was listening to Eric Bischoff talk about it not too long ago. And he said, man, it wasn't even that big of a deal. It was like happened and it went away as fast as it happened. But no, me and my brother, we brought all of our own flavor. We brought all of our own experiences from, being on the streets of Houston. We wasn't on the streets of Harlem, but being on the streets of Houston, I tell you, it was pretty tough, as well as, watching all of those movies we got a chance to bring to, the big screen, in our own way. I was listening to one of the promos I cut. It was somebody posted on Twitter, and it was a song. It said, the moves you're making, the route you're taking is going to lead to heartbreaking. And the Harlem Heat is not mistaken. And that came from a rap. And that came from a rap song, So I always would steal stuff and say it, and it came off pretty cool. And I don't think the writers could write that kind of stuff for us and make the fans have that same feel for us that they did. And I think a lot of that, today is relevant. We're just talking about Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was, he got the script, but he was able to go out there and manipulate the script and make you believe in everything that Bray Wyatt was talking about. I don't think any of the writers could actually do that for him. I talk about guys like Denzel Washington. When you got an actor like that and he changes something in the script, trust me, you as a director, you say, go with it. And that's what I think having that ability is all about.
Oh, absolutely. That's a great answer. This is from Gianni Versace with $2 Canadian saying, Booker T, can I hear King Booker?
Canadian. Yeah. Have you ever been to Canada and got one of them blue checks? That's about 28 cents. Okay.
Well, answer it nonetheless.
Okay, what was the question again?
Booker T, can I hear King Booker?
King Booker.
There we go. All right. Couple more. They keep just coming in right now. So I'm gonna get to them while the getting's good. This is from Lauren Glenn 2, so maybe Junior, with the $5. Says, Booker, love you, man. Your moveset was one of the best in the game. I once crushed a pair of headphones entertaining my sister with the scissor kit. Well, I don't know if she was that entertained by it, if you crushed her headphones, but nevertheless.
People can say what they want to say, man. But a lot of the moves you see these young guys out there doing right now, like the scissor kick, like the flying spinning forearm, big major, jumping side kick with the leg. No one did that stuff before I did it. I brought that to the table, and the thing is, I stole it. I stole all of it.
What you got to do?
But I was stealing from a movie or something like that. I didn't steal the wrestler's move, but I did steal one of the wrestlers' moves, Pat Tanaka. was one of my favorite wrestlers back in the WWF back in the day. And he used to do that flying forearm. And it used to be so sweet. And he used to do it off of a duck and then catch you on the rebound coming off the ropes. So I changed it up and I would do a leapfrog, land, not facing you, and then catch you coming off the ropes, flying, spin with it at the same time. And my moveset was it was very, very simple. Something that was I always thought about longevity more than anything. That's why you saw me do a lot of kicks, a lot of stuff like that. Because if a guy was over 200 pounds, I wouldn't pick him up. Like, I got to save the back. You know what I mean? So if a guy wasn't like Rey Mysterio size, I wasn't going to pick him up. And if you go back and look at my matches, you'll realize, man, that's why I never saw Book picking guys up. Suplex, side suplex was my go-to. But other than that, I wasn't doing it. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
And your question for the win. In The Insider, Al Pacino's character works on which TV show?
Is it 60 Minutes?
And your winner!
The Movie Trivia Schmodown, the most competitive movie trivia league in the world.
It's MMA or boxing. It's like you want to see the two best scrapping it out.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
2 points. Movie release.
Keeping it.
Wow.
Danny DeVito.
That's correct.
You mother. The Rising Sun. And your winner!
Championships, factions, the best in the world play here.
I'm ready to schmo down. Throw down with the schmo down.
Kevin Goodenough Smith!
This is why we play the Schmodown.
The professional sports league of movie trivia. This isn't bar trivia. This is the Movie Trivia Schmodown.
Shoop! Welcome back inside, dog. Man, I got to get those Shoop t-shirts made up, man. Shoop!
We got to do it. We'll have them by next week.
We got to do it. We still got super chats, man. We still got super chats.
We got a ton.
Let's keep them coming, man.
We got to keep going through these. This is from Mo Beats with 10. Is that British pounds? I think, or euros? One of the two.
I think that's euro. Man. That's euro. Euro is good. Euro is good. Canadian, no good.
No, but we'll take it either. Just, do the U.S. exchange rate. Booker, you're the man. One of my all-time favorite wrestlers. Many have tried to make it in Hollywood, but few have succeeded. Who do you think would be a good actor who never went there? Obviously, you got Rock, you got Cena, you got Dave Bautista. Jericho's popped up in some movies. Who do you think would be a great actor currently?
Man, I tell you, man, that the Hollywood world is such a tricky animal, man. Certain guys have parlayed it. The Rock, of course, has did it, better than any of us. Batista's doing very, very well. Roddy Piper kicked it off.
Roddy Piper,
Macho Man Savage, of course. He got big roles, but to have made it, to number one, like a guy like The Rock, who would be that guy? I don't know, man. There again, are we talking WWE or just anywhere?
I think anywhere. I mean, I have an idea because The Rock is such a. If you try to do it like The Rock,
did you see the parody that Jericho and MJF did? They would dance.
Yes.
Yeah. How entertaining! It was very entertaining.
So good.
There again, a guy that got a chance.
Legend or debonair, I think is what they called it.
Exactly. Got a chance to show me a different side of him, and that's what I'm saying. To be a great actor, you got to be, and that's what it's going to take. Who is that guy in the WWE right now that acts outside of the ring? Who is that guy? Bobby Lashley. I think Bobby looks great on screen, but I don't know. I don't. That's a hard question.
Well, I mean, obviously The Miz is an actor, but if I was going to go with somebody who could, if I was going to go with somebody, honestly, Roman's been in some movies too. I think Bray Wyatt. That is now. Is he a leading man? Maybe not. But is he an actor? Absolutely.
I mean, that's a guy that I feel that could play any role that was specific and be able to make it his own. I really do. I don't care what kind of role it was. I really think if it was specific, I think he could actually be able to do it. Yeah.
All right, so let's continue on the marathon of super chats, and then maybe we'll talk about a couple other things today. This is from Vitamin Vision TV with $5. Booker, I always liked your Harlem Heat ring gear. What 5 wrestlers had your favorite ring gear? 5 wrestlers had your favorite ring gear.
Well,
man, that's a hard one.
Not for me.
5 for you? 5 of them? You know, 5 of them you like?
Stable, Trish Stratus.
Let's keep going. Nikki Bella, Tori Wilson.
Exactly. I mean, that's an easy one, bro. Come on now. That's an easy one for me. Okay. All right. Because the damn sure ain't gonna be none of the guys coming down there. That's just me. I think that was a question. That was a setup. That was a
setup.
That was somebody trying to set me up. You know what I mean? Come on, man. That's like Mary and Barry getting caught in the hotel smoking. this woman,
Mary DC.
This woman has set me up. Oh man, so I'm going down that line right there, you know.
Okay, I like it. I can rock with that. Oh my goodness. But you know what? You just told no lies. No lies were just told.
I'm telling the truth, bro. And you know what? It was another one back in the day.
Who?
She's in ECW. She wasn't a wrestler, but she did wear some crazy outfits. Her name was Kimona Wanalea.
Oh, Kimona, yeah.
Well, I used to love when they used to bring her out, man. I used to love ECW when they used to bring Kimona out to do. Whoa, man, that's what I mean, man. That's what I miss. I miss those days, man. And I know a lot of people out there miss that right there as well, man. It was raw, it was uncut, you know, and it was good, man. Beulah McGillicuddy, man,
Beulah.
come on.
But didn't Beulah and Kimono, didn't they have a thing going on?
Yeah, I don't care if they did or not.
No, I know.
Camera, off camera, I didn't care. Yeah. Whatever it was, count me in. It was good. But no, that's what I mean. Keep it going, man. You get me caught
up. All
up.
Right. Hopefully Charmel's not watching. Regis Cook with the $5. What is your favorite title belt design between all the companies? So I think he's talking about currently right now. What title belt design do you like the most?
Man, what title belt? Man, it's pretty hard because, of course, the WWE title, it is what it is. It's a representation of the company. I've never really looked at belts for the look of them, other than the original WCW belt. It's the only belt I've really looked at and held at the highest position. And the reason why, I don't know, maybe it was because Ric Flair wore it. You know, I knew Ric Flair wore that belt. So that belt meant something to me when I finally captured it. And it had a bend in it at the top. I always wondered how the belt got, how did it get bent?
Yeah.
I always wondered how did that bend happen, but
someone's got the answer to that story.
Somebody got the answer, but it gave it such a unique quality. That's the only belt that I've ever really looked at, and it was so big. It was like so huge. It was like cover up, you know, like your whole stomach and a part of your chest. Actually, that's how big that belt was. And you know, for me, walking through the airport with it, man, it was awesome, man. You know, all the security, they want to get a look at it. You know, it's Booker T. You know, he's got the title in it. Can I see it? You know, it's one of those type of deals. But no, man, I'm gonna have to round back to that one right there.
For me, I will say, as if we're talking current championship designs, my favorite one that I just think it looks like, that looks like your world champion belt, is that AEW title is awesome. Their main title, it's beautiful. It looks great. The WWE titles I like the WWE title and the Universal title, but that AEW title looks really sweet.
I got to take a look.
It looks really sweet.
That
one looks good.
I'll round back to that question right there.
Okay, so this is from Positive Vibes Only, one of our favorites. What was your most memorable match when you had the pleasure of commentating? Oh, that's an interesting one. I have an answer for this for you. Like, I have a favorite Booker T commentary match, but you go ahead and answer first. Which one was most memorable?
Man, favorite commentating match. You give me yours first.
My favorite one that you did was when Brock came back, and it was Brock and Cena at Extreme Rules, and you were on the call for that one. And you were calling it just as it was going down. It was a complete fight, and you were reacting in real time, like a Joe Rogan would react on the UFC. And I thought that it brought a real authenticity to what we were seeing on screen. I loved that call from everybody on the desk that night. You
know what? Seriously, that match I remember vividly. I remember John Cena getting split open. It was as real as it possibly could be. And for me, I got so caught up into that match because it was no frills or anything like that. I didn't have to think at all when I was watching. It's like watching, when I watch certain matches, and I'm trying to figure out, what's the story here. It can be awkward. But when you got a match in front of you that you don't need to know what the story is at all, and you see watching a man get his ass whooped and a man literally fighting to survive, and I know the man John Cena is, and John Cena was in an element that he had never been in before, but he took it like a man, and that right there for me, oh God, man, this dude, he's the real deal. He's the real deal. He didn't shy away from it at all. And for me to be able to call a match like that, it was a great night for me. I don't think I got any memes about me on social media after that night.
No meme night was a great night.
That was a good night for me. So I can agree with you on that one.
I missed a super chat here earlier. They just pointed out to me. This is from, again, I guess it's Bucephalus. Is pronounced Bucephalus. Cephalus, you dullard. I don't know what a dullard is. Anyway, love you both. Super entertaining podcast. We appreciate you, Bucephalus. And
you know what? It's very, it's very important, man, to be able to, make sure we know how to pronounce these names.
Say the names right. Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
No, I do too.
So seriously,
I do too. Like one time
Stephen A been getting a lot of heat for that lately, so I don't want to fall in his position.
I don't want to get that either. So thank you, Bucephalus. I remember doing a boxing show one time and getting the card, and seeing a lot of Russian fighters were on the card that night, and I'd never seen so many letters jammed together that made no coherent name in my brain. So I went and asked every single one of them, say it phonetically for me, like really spell it out. And I was writing like tricks. I had to say
I would say your name for me, and they would say it, and I just write it the way I want to write it, because I know what I'm going to say if I write it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. If they write it, I'm still going to get it wrong. But if I write it, it may be totally spelled differently, but it's going to sound right.
Yeah.
Stick around. I know we got more super chats, man, but we got to take a quick break, man. We'll be back in a minute.
From the top rope, she's calling for shooting star press.
Welcome back to the Hall of Fame. I want to say, man, this has been one of the fastest shows we've ever did.
Crazy.
Here inside the Hall of Fame. I want to thank everybody in the chat for being a part of this thing, man. We really, really appreciate you guys as well as your questions. And let's just keep it rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling. We still got one more.
We have two more here that we have to attend to. Now, I will say we're going to read the question because they did super chat it in, but I don't want to show the name on the screen because it has a profane word in the title of the man's name, and I just don't want to put that out there for any kids watching. But the question is from the man's name is Inward Roach. Wants to know, why aren't there more black wrestlers out there?
No, man, there's a lot of black wrestlers out there right now. There's more black wrestlers in WWE at this one time than we've ever seen in WWE's history. But I always said it and explained it like this. And I'm only speaking from experience, okay? So don't get me wrong or take it any other way than, the way I'm looking at it. And for me as a kid, a young black kid growing up in South Park, Texas, wrestling was just not the way out of the hood for me as a young black kid. Now, when I watched wrestling back in the day, Junkyard Dog was like the most famous black wrestler back then. Of course, Ron Simmons got some success in the 90s or the late 80s, one of the two. But it just wasn't a whole lot of guys like me that, I wanted to be like that was doing professional wrestling. Most of the guys that, I wanted to be like was, either playing basketball, they was, playing football, or if you're from the neighborhood, they're selling drugs or something. So professional wrestling, when you looked at it, it just wasn't our way out. That's why when I performed, I always thought about the people that was watching that looked like me, that could say, man, I want to get in the wrestling business because of Booker T and what Booker T is doing and what Booker T represents. I did that from the beginning all the way to the end just because I was, because I realized, like I say there again, I was a role model and someone was perhaps wanting to be in this business of color that looked like me. And I think that's where, it starts more than anything. I think that's why now we getting so many more, black guys in the business, as well as, black young women in the business right now. I mean, I look at Bianca Belair, who have, cracked that glass ceiling and really put herself on another level. But I think the more we see individuals like ourselves in that position, representing the championship, wearing the belt, I think now we got Bobby Lashley. I think now it's looked at a little bit different.
Yeah, I think that when you look at Sasha and Bianca being the first two black women to main event WrestleMania, the first two women and the first two black women, first one-on-one women's match to main event, that's pretty awesome. And I think it just shows you that it's a it's a form of entertainment and a sport and a medium for everybody. And I think that's cool. And obviously we've talked about it at length at times on this show. You have a lot to do with, the black wrestler coming as far as they have today. You broke a lot of glass ceilings and paved a lot of pathways that you can be entertaining. You can be physically imposing. You can be an incredible athlete and be a tremendous storyteller all at the same time. And that's something that you accomplished that I think is, awesome. And anytime we can acknowledge that, I think it's awesome.
Look here, man, I paid the way for these suckers, man.
Just say it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they get inducted to the Hall of Fame, you should get another ring.
I left these suckers the blueprint. All they gotta do is just pick it up and use it. You know what I mean? I didn't slip on a banana peel and make my way to the top of this business. I really did. And I worked really hard. I had a little bit of talent, but I calculated my way through it, man. And it can be done. It really can. But trust me, it ain't gonna happen by accident or anything like that.
Okay, we're gonna power through these last couple super chats here before we move on to anything else. This is from Roland Curtis with another $20. One silver lining of the blooper. Roland says. I've searched all over YouTube. The Rock had 2 CM Punk promos with 8.4 and 8.9 million views. Jericho's WWE debut, 6.4 million views. The Austin 316 promo is 4.1 million views. And Booker T's Hulk Hogan promo, 9.9 million views.
Hey, man, I don't shy away from it or anything like that because I tell people all the time, you got to know how to change your levels.
Sure.
Me, I've always been able to change my levels. When I was in the hood, hanging around my boys, I would talk, just like they would. It's not like I haven't said the N-word many, many times in my life. Okay, I have, but none of my white peers until that day had ever heard me say that word, and that's why it kind of got me a little bit because I'm an equal opportunist. Okay, I'm like this here. If I can say it, why you being white can't say it? So I watch what I say around people because I don't want them thinking that they can say it, because they might get an ass whooping. No, so
you saw how I tiptoed around that super chat a minute ago.
It's a lesson. It's a lesson to be learned there more than anything, and it is change your levels, young people. Just because when you're boys, you're doing, but when you're going in for an interview, fix yourself up, put a tie on, put some cologne on, make sure you stand up properly, make sure you present yourself a certain way, and that's you're taking your lady out to dinner. You know what I mean? No, take the chair out for her. You know what I mean? Know how to change your levels, especially if you're trying to get to the next level with her. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just giving you some game. Let's keep it rolling.
Okay, couple more. I do believe. Let's see. This is from Bushin Ryu Cat. Bushin Ryu Cat with $5. Don't kill me, Book. Looking forward to being a five-time grandpa in the future. Also, what popular movie would you want to star in?
Probably bring the Last Dragon back, man. Let me be show enough, and let me play that role right. Because right now I'm looking to show enough part. I got the beard, I got the long dreads, so we ain't got to change nothing right there. I'm in shape, and I can show enough play the part. So the Last
You've been waiting for that one.
I've been waiting.
Anyway, and check this out. I can show enough play the part.
Yeah, like that, don't you?
I like it.
You like
I can
that,
roll
right?
with it. I can rock with it.
What else, man? What else we got?
All right, last one before we move on to our other news stories. This is from Random 8, $5. Do you believe TNA had more homegrown talent than AEW?
Man, heck yeah. Yeah, they had way more.
They had a lot of great
that company was on its way at one point in time, and literally they dropped the ball. The direction definitely got tainted somewhere along the way. The keeping your eye on the ball and your eye on the prize for me was a no-brainer. I know when I came to TNA, all I thought about was, man, these young guys, man, letting these guys pull the load. I'm all off into that, man. You know what I mean? Let these guys do the work, man. Me, Nash, Steiner, we were there, and I thought we were great tools. Even Kurt Angle at that point, Kurt didn't mind going out there and working with those young guys. He did it for quite some time. But I thought we would have been great tools to actually get those young guys to a level to where we could have just cruised, and the company could, and made some pretty much easy money, because the workhorses were there, man. I just think you got to have the right leaders in the right place in order to make a company work, and hopefully that's what we're seeing here now. Let's see.
Yeah, and one last one before we move on. This is from Mo Beats with the 10 euros or British pounds. I think you said euros. Those are euros, right?
That's euro.
Isn't that what we said? Okay. Yeah. It's a pleasure to hear you answer my question, Booker. You're truly a legend. Brad, you're all right, too. I appreciate that, Mo Beats. What are some of the most impressive audibles you've ever witnessed in wrestling? So I guess when people are in the ring and they just change course. Has one ever stuck out in your mind that you thought was pretty incredible?
Audibles happen, and normally you don't see them.
They probably happen in every match, right?
That's what I was just going to say. That's what makes a good audible. You're not going to see it happen if you're in there working with professionals. If you're in there working with some amateurs, they'll mess up and then they'll probably do it all over again. But for me, an audible is something that you can't see in order for me to be, a magician. For me to be a professional, and I appreciate that question right there, and like you said, Brad, audibles happen on a nightly occasion, and I remember working with Ben Wyatt, best of 7. We caused so many audibles, we didn't know who was coming or going, and trust me, when I go back and look at it on camera, no one can see it happen but me, and that's the beauty of being able to call it audible. Hey man, we got to get out of here, man. We done ran out of time.
Before we leave, we have one more minute. Just real quick, your quick thoughts on Ric Flair no longer with WWE.
And we're gonna be talking about that on Wednesday night. We're definitely gonna get into detail as far as Ric Flair no longer with WWE. It's something that did I see this coming? No, I did not see it coming. But Ric Flair is literally a loose cannon. And what Ric Flair wants, Ric Flair is going to get. And from what I was reading, Ric Flair is the one that asked for his release and was granted that release. We got to get deep into that, man. It's going to take a lot more than a couple of minutes. But Wednesday, guys, we'll be right back. Same place, same time. Tune in. Hey, I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to, big ups to all the super chats. We'll see you guys on Wednesday, same place, same time. Bradley, as always. But right now, peace. We out of here, y'all.
Can you dig it? You suck.